Hello friends. Dogman may be scary, but I am not afraid. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. They wanted something new. Yes, 4 friends we are going to the forest. All of them knew the night forest. The moment when strange sounds are heard around. The moment when you see the target. And came the moment when Jason said that new hunting needed to be something different. What do you mean? Robert asked. Jason had no clear idea, but he saw a new perspective. It was boring to do the same thing many times. Friends agreed, and they started thinking. They all had many ideas, but in the end, Jason said a very interesting theory. He thought that new hunting needed to be in a very distant place. His friends liked the idea, and they continued talking about this. Soon they went in the hunting. The black jeep passed familiar places. Robert liked the idea about hunting in an unfamiliar place, but he looked at the trees and felt bad. The trees seemed to be saying something. Maybe death lurked in a new place? After a few seconds, Robert thought that he was an idiot. A young man who thinks trees have something to say. This was so stupid. The crazy adventure started. Jason smiled and stopped the car. They got out of the car and took their stuff. Whoa, this place is creepy, Roger noted. Jason looked at him and smiled. I am with you, Jason joked. Nothing bad will happen to you. I can defend myself. Roger did not like his joke. And they started walking. Maybe it was only Robert's imagination, but he saw how something came. No, it was not a monster or ghost. It was darkness. But wait, no, darkness did not come to them. On the contrary, they entered the forest. 4 friends dived into the darkness that lived in the forest. Robert turned back. He saw the jeep and understood that bad feeling attacked him. Robert, we are waiting for you, John screamed. He continued walking. One step, and everything became much darker. The second step, and the forest became even much darker. I don't like this forest, Robert said. We are torn from civilization, Jason noted. Yes, torn. This is the best place. Say we are going a whole day. Robert was a serious man. Of course, his fear disappeared, and he liked the forest. In the evening, friends found a good place for camp. They stopped and set up 2 tents. They were set around a bonfire and started eating. Even though Robert left strange feelings, he felt that something bad was going to happen. Robert remembered horror movies. Friends are in the forest and the scary creature is close. Fortunately, nothing terrible happened. The night was sweet and silent. In the morning, they wanted to start hunting, but Roger felt bad. The headache broke his form, and Roger said he could not go on the hunt. One friend will stay here, Jason said. Robert was surprised. He looked at Jason and said, Roger is our friend. And all of them stayed in the camp. It was the twist of fate, but in the evening, Roger felt very good. Roger quickly stood up and said, I want to hunt. All of them smiled. It was so funny situation. In the morning, Guy felt bad, and after some time, he became like a strong athlete. Jason was the first who stood up. They walked into the forest and looked for a target. Robert remembered the time when he was thinking about strange things. One step and the forest became much darker. Now this was so stupid. Robert smiled and looked at friends. Jason kissed his hunting rifle. "My baby is waiting," he said about the rifle. "We need to hunt." Robert saw intensified hunting desire of Jason. After half an hour, John said, "It's too late now. We need to go back." Jason immediately turned back and said, "We need to try harder." And they continued walking. As the darkness came and finally the friends decided to go back. At this time they heard some sound. Yes, the animal was walking close. Jason immediately started running. It was already night and Robert screamed, "Be careful!" Friends followed him. And suddenly Jason fell. Roger went ahead and Robert followed. John helped Jason. Trees and bushes. Yes, there was something big. Roger came close and aimed the rifle. The animal roared and Roger shot. At this time, Robert came there. The animal turned back and ran away. Soon the others came there. "I missed," Roger said. "What was it?" Jason asked. "The bear," Roger answered. Yes, it was a huge bear. Robert looked at friends and noted. No, it was something different. Jason looked at him and asked, "What?" "Say what it was." Robert told that he did not know. Roger smiled and noted that Robert's imagination played a bad game. They were going to the camp. Robert, several times, looked at Roger. He understood that Roger lied. Yes, Roger knew the truth. The big animal was not a bear. It was something different. Their camp was comfortable. Anxiety stood close and Robert lost his calmness. Fortunately, the bonfire changed the situation. Robert always loved the fire. When he was little, his parents always told him that playing with fire was bad. The animal used 2 legs and ran away, Robert noted. "Did the bear use 2 legs?" Jason asked. Roger stood up and answered, "This was a monster." John began to smile and admitted how good Roger's humor was. "I had a chance to kill the monster and I missed it," Roger screamed. Robert also stood up and came to Roger. "We are playing with fire," he said. "We need to leave this forest." John once again smiled. "Calm down, guys," he said. "It was just imagination." The next morning, they started hunting again. The situation was very strange. Robert wanted to leave the forest. Roger had a new desire. He wanted to kill the monster. John thought that his friends had a powerful imagination. Jason chose to be silent. The rain came down. At this time they went in the valley. The black clouds changed everything. They saw the beautiful deer. Jason aimed his rifle and something terrifying happened. The huge dog came out of the woods. The creature ran towards the deer. Dogman bit the deer and took the poor animal. Jason shot, but the dogman jumped into the bushes. "I was right," Robert said. Jason smiled and continued walking. John grabbed his hand and screamed, "Are you out of your mind? This monster will tear you apart." Friends began to argue. Jason and Roger wanted to hunt. Robert and John had a different view. They wanted to leave the forest. In the end, all of them returned to the camp. "One night," John said. "Yes, only one night, and everything will end." Robert looked at Jason. Of course, Jason's face changed. He wanted to say something. No, he needed to say. Guys, Jason stood up. We have a great chance. The legendary Dogman. Yes, Roger raised his hands. We will use the chance. John knew that he needed to say something, but the madness, yes, madness entered the bodies of his friends. Maybe no one could change this terrible situation. This is not a game, Robert said. Oh, you like this role, Jason smiled. Yes, the role of genius person. Robert remembered his childhood. He was playing with fire. How many times had his parents warned him? How many times did Robert close the eyes of the mind? He was just a kid and did not want to listen. Robert only needed to play. He was looking at Jason and seeing how childish he became. Jason could not understand that Dogman was very dangerous. Jason, playing with fire is dangerous, he noted. I like to play, Jason said. In the morning, Jason and Roger started looking for Dogman. They recognized that the bad friends can ruin a good hunt. Roger strictly said that Robert and John should immediately leave the forest because the place was very scary. The day went slowly. Robert needed the answer. What would happen? Maybe the Dogman will kill his friends? He felt like a flying arrow. Robert's thoughts were in the air, but he could not tell where the answer was. We need to find them, John said, and Robert looked up. It was already evening. He stood up and took the rifle. I was thinking about my friends. John started talking. The answer came to me. I did not know my friends. John said he knew Jason and Roger as ordinary people. Everything was different. They are some bloody hunters. John became angry. Right now, we have only one mission, Robert said. Yes, they needed to save friends. And suddenly, something jumped from the bushes. John aimed the rifle. It's me, the stranger screamed and came close. John smiled and said, We thought you were a Dogman. Something terrifying has happened, Roger said. And he started telling the story. They were searching for the Dogman. Jason was very excited. Time went very quickly. In the evening, they arrived at the valley. There is a lake, Roger cried. He told that Dogman was standing near the lake. Jason started shooting. The monster jumped into the lake. Jason ran towards the lake, and when he came close, yes, Jason was very close. Dogman came out of the water. The monster took Jason. Roger got scared and ran away. Robert and John looked to each other. Both of them knew the answer. Yes, both of them knew what to do. Roger saw their faces and scared. He screamed and said, No, it is useless. Robert looked at him. His frozen face said everything. He did not want to surrender. The Dogman will kill us. Roger started crying, but they continued walking. The small group passed the lake and entered another part. Yes, friends, we are on the other side of the forest. There were many skeletons. They understood that Dogman liked to take food there. Roger was still crying. It was strange. In the past, he wanted to kill the Dogman. Robert understood how the horror picture could scare the brave man. And finally, they saw something. Friends aimed the rifles and slowly went forward. Jason, Robert said. They came close to Jason. He was bloody. "We will save you," Robert said, and saw something strange. Jason smiled. This guy was crazy. Even like this situation, he was smiling. "The Dogman is coming," he said. And friends saw that Jason was right. The monster was coming like a death. "Give me the rifle," Jason said to Robert. "What?" Robert became surprised. "I will stop the Dogman." Jason smiled once again. Soon Jason kissed the rifle and shouted, "Run!" His friends ran away. They heard the sound of several shots. After that, there was silence.